It's another week here on Sports Memo Today, a Tuesday edition, which of course means $2 Tuesday abound and $5 Tuesday if you get that triple pack over at Sports Memo. One of those $2 Tuesday handicappers is going to be joining us. One of the stars, I like to call him, of Puck Time on Wager Talk TV. We got Buster Sports making his SMT debut. So what a treat for you here on the 10th of January. He's going to be talking a little NHL as he's one to do. And we'll also look at the gridiron, talk a little NFL wild card action with my man Buster coming up here in just a few. And then coming back, the stat Prince, I'll call him. Jeff Michaels joining the show with some trends, with some angles, some actionable info for you in 30 minutes or less. It's what we do here on Sports Memo Today. Jeff's going to be talking a little college basketball, a little NFL, and you know I always love coming with some promos for you as well. So we'll be throwing you some money-saving and money-making opportunities here on the show. If you don't know me yet, Dan Alexander, your host here every Tuesday and Thursday, and we're happy to be here with you. So without any further ado, resounding welcome in to our man Buster Sports over at sportsmemo.com. You can find him at sm.buzz/BS. And yes, the jokes write themselves for that web URL. But Buster, man, it's great. I'm always talking with you and messing around with you behind the scenes with what we do on Puck Time with Wager Talk TV. But it's great to finally have you as a guest here with me on Sports Memo. How you been running? And welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it. And I'll try to get on here a little bit more often, maybe on Tuesdays after the Puck Time show. I'll have to admit, Dan, I see your pictures every once in a while, passing through my Twitter timeline, and all I do is really hear you in the back of my ear every once in a while saying, Buster, speed it up, you talk too much, the whole bit. But now that I see you live, like I was really looking for that long, flowing black hair, just the Adonis-like look. Yeah, so you got it up in a bun for me today. So I might have to come on just to have you have your hair down for me. I like
Buster, I got it tied up in the bun here today, but just for you, next time you're on, I'll go full Fabio vibes. I got your back on that.
There you go, brother. There you go.
So man, I say we get right into it. I always love the insight that you bring on that Puck Time show, because a lot of these guys, they're looking at stats and things like that, but really where you shine is as a situational bettor. It's one of the best things that you bring to the ice, and really we don't talk much NHL here on the show. With obviously college football wrapping up, NFL coming to a close, we're definitely going to be having you back talking about the ice as we move forward here through the year. But let's look at this Winnipeg game as they're taking on Detroit. They're the road favorite, and I'm wondering, is this a situational spot for you, them laying chalk on the road? How are you going to be betting this as they're taking on Johnny Detroit's Detroit Red Wings?
Well, as you know, most of the time I'm an underdog player and a very small favorite player. Yep. In this situation here, Dan, you know what? We usually have Winnipeg on the shows on Tuesday a lot. I've actually even said to Carmen, geez, maybe we shouldn't have Winnipeg on. So I might as well talk about Winnipeg here. If you ask me, and I've said it on the show lots of times, Winnipeg is getting really disrespected. If this was another top elite club in the NHL, which I think Winnipeg's on the close to that, they'd be getting 155, 160. We're only laying 135 with the Jets here. They've won 5 games in a row, and in those 5 games, they just didn't beat any of the bottom feeders. They beat Calgary, Edmonton, and Tampa Bay in the process. So I like the Jets and they've actually won 5 out of the last 7 between these clubs. And when the Jets are playing teams like the Detroit Red Wings, they don't take their foot off the gas. They have gone 21-6 the last 27 games when they're in that situation against losing clubs. Now, Detroit, they've lost 4 out of their last 5, and they've really struggled against better NHL teams. Now, this Red Wings is a team that is definitely up and coming, and they've got a good young nucleus there. But I think they're in a tough spot, and they just don't play well at home. They've only went 2-7 their last 9 at home. So, and I'll talk a little bit about the total. We kind of leaned to the under here. The under is 5-1-6 between the clubs in the last 6 meetings. So that's something there. Connor should be in net tonight, and Husso for Detroit. I haven't looked at the starters yet, but I'm assuming that's who should be in net. And the under in the last 6 Jets games on the road, 6-0 to the under. So under might be a little bit of a play as well. But I just really like this Jets club. I think they showed the teams again today that they're a very good club, and they're going to be somebody to reckon with come the NHL playoffs.
Buster and the Jets, he's saying lay the -135 as they're on the road taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, I know. It was a bad one. But I thought of it the second he started talking. I wasn't going to not throw it out there. So we'll just move past that. I'll take my foot out of my mouth and we'll talk a little NFL here, Buster. And Sunday, 4:30 tilt, it's the Giants and the Vikings. And the Vikings, all season long it was the wise guy special to keep fading them, stay away from them. Now they're 3-point home favorites. They're taking on the Giants here. And we've seen some love in the marketplace outside of what's happened on the side. That's stayed pretty pat at that ceremonial 3 for a home favorite here in the playoffs. The over is really what's seen some love in the marketplace. It opened at 47.5. Not like we've seen any crazy moves, but some sharp action early. We're seeing some 48.5s out there. There are some rogue 48s. So what do you think? That money coming for the over, you agreeing with the market move, or are you looking to go the other way?
I am, Dan, agreeing with the market move. Actually, I did the show with the First Family show with Joe yesterday, and he had the lines out right away. And I being an old guy, do everything in a certain particular way, and I hadn't looked at the lines. And he asked me what line kind of stuck out. And I thought, geez, that Giants at 47.5 when it opened up seems like a line that kind of stuck out a bit. So I promptly went in, and that 47.5 was gone by the time I got to it. So I put out 48. I've also gave that to my clients right away. These teams did already play the 27-24 Vikings win. Now, we all know the playoffs are a very different animal, but we believe both these clubs will be more offensive in a playoff game. We have basically 2 different teams here that have really, really a lot of trouble with their defense. Bottom line, their total defense. The Vikings rank 31st in total defense. The Giants are 25th. And what I really like here, Dan, is with this game being played on the fast track of US Bank Stadium, the Giants, who are a little bit of an under team, have been trending over. Believe it or not, they're 5-1 their last 6 on field turf, and including the game that was played in Minnesota earlier in the year. Now, of course, the Vikings, well, they're an over club all the way, and they played their last 6 out of 7 over. And in fact, that game that was to the over is actually you lost by the hook, or a lot of people grabbed the 42, so they could be 6-0-1 to that over. So I really do like the over. I do like going with what the market is saying right now. Just a little thought on the side. I really think this is a coin flip. I really do. Mm-hmm. There's a lot better games to be bet on, better sides to play. So I would advise everybody bet the over and leave the side alone.
Yeah, just wait for those defenses to make those cardinal mistakes that they have been known for. Buster, you're one of our $2 Tuesday handicappers over at SportsMemo.com. And I know the play that you have locked and loaded is one that you really like because, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your top-rated play of the college basketball season that you have loaded for folks for just $2, correct?
That is correct, Dan. This is going to be our first 5% college basketball game of this season. And as you know, it started in November. So, but as I said on the Puck Time show, in college basketball, we're big into the conferences. So we don't, we have a nice little total system that we play a lot for the beginning with a lot of these neutral site plays. But once January turns, we all know it's conference time. And last year, I was perfect in 2022. Only had 7.5% college basketball releases, but I was 7-0 from January to April. Also, if you want to go back a little farther, 13-1, my last 14.5% college basketball plays. So we don't step out a lot in college basketball, but when we do, we really like a play. And this is one that we really like. We had watched it from before. We were hoping we would get the right line, and I think we did get the right line tonight. So head on over to Sports Memo. Not only myself, there's a couple other guys with that, and you can grab 3 of them for only $5. So that's always a good deal. But my game will be going tonight.
That's my guy, Buster Sports, sm.buzz/BS. You can grab that $2 play right this moment. And yet, 13-1. Don't think you need any abacus to understand. That's a pretty good run that Buster's on these top-rated plays. And he mentioned you can get 2 other handicappers as well. Why not up the ante? $5 will get you a $2 Tuesday top selection from the Gold Sheet. It's an NBA play, and the Gold Sheet's on not too bad of a run either. 11-3 in its last 14 in the NBA. So you can grab that Gold Sheet play along with King Creole. He's got a 4-star play in under of the day in NBA, and just $3 extra. So you can grab all 3 of those plays. Also, shout out to one of the GOATs. If you head on over to wagertalk.com, Dave Koken, turning 70 years young this Thursday. He's got a 5% NFL play. He is on an 86% run on those NFL 5%ers. You can grab that for just $2. So $7 gets you 4 plays. That's not too bad. What we're hooking you up with Sports Memo and Wager Talk. So big thanks to Buster coming on here. We'll be seeing him more as the NHL season continues. And a guy that has been a mainstay here on Sports Memo Today is the Stat Prince himself, Jeff Michaels, JM Sports. You can find him, sm.buzz/JMS. Jeff, always a pleasure when I get you on here, brother. How have you been doing, man?
Good. Yeah. I can't complain at all. Kid's birthday today, so doing some family celebrating tonight. And hey, we all lost to some 12-year-olds in fantasy football. We let the kids get a team and they walked away with the title.
I wasn't going to say it.
2 twin 12-year-old boys walking away with the Sports Memo fantasy football crown. So, hey, one for the books.
Yeah, I was like the top of the league the entire year until I wasn't, and now Jeff had to bring up on air that we lost to a bunch of 12-year-olds. So all I'm saying, Jeff basically had 7 teams in the league because he had his kids in there, he, had himself in there, his pops was in there. I mean, it was basically me against the Michaels crew, and I held on for as long as I possibly could have. So, the Sports Memo Fantasy Football League goes to the Michaels household. It was about a 1-2 chance.
I call tampering.
So I'm coming for you next year, Jeff. We're gonna get our producer Eric in there. He's gonna shake it all up, and then we'll see how it rolls out next year, brother.
Hey, I took the loss too. I'm admitting to it. So I fell just as hard as you did. I was winning going into the last week, and I came in third. So hey, a loss is a loss.
Well, the people aren't here to hear us lament our fantasy football woes and losing to 12-year-olds. Yeah, let's talk about some real football that's happening this weekend. Let's take a look at this Cincinnati and Ravens game. Is there an echo in here because Cincinnati and Baltimore just played last week, and now it's a primetime matchup in the wild card round. No coin flip needed. Cincinnati, the home team, and they're the touchdown and the hook favorite against their division rivals. First question, is Lamar Jackson going to play in this game? And if he does that affect how you're going to be betting this one, or is this a Cincinnati slam dunk spot in your opinion?
Danny led me right into it. How about the fact since 2001, this is just the 9th time that 2 teams have played in back-to-back weeks, with one of those games being in the playoffs. The home team over that stretch, 6-2 against the spread. So definitely giving Cincinnati the edge there, and the edge to the higher seed, obviously, going into the postseason. But, from what I've been looking at, and to answer your question, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of confidence that Lamar Jackson's going to be out there this weekend. It does probably sway the confidence in the pick a little bit. But, I mean, you look at Huntley. If Huntley's under center, 6 for 13 for 60 yards. That's his career postseason numbers. He had one game that he appeared in. He came in early in the second half when Lamar Jackson got hurt a couple years ago. And the Ravens accounted for just 3 points in that entire game. This Ravens team's 0-6, revenging a road loss in the last 3 years, and they're 3-11 after an ATS win, which they did manage to cover against the Bengals last week. But this Bengals team, I mean, knows how to get it done at the end of the season. They're 12-2 against the spread in the second half of the last 2 years against teams with a winning record. They're 5-2 against the spread at home. Plus, I mean, Joe Burrow, regardless of if Lamar's out there, I have a little more confidence in the postseason with Joe Burrow. I mean, he's 3-0 straight up and against the spread, and he had a pretty good run last year. 12-4 against the spread on the season, and they've covered 12 out of the last 14 games. So definitely liking Burrow in this one. Even if Jackson's in there, there's a lean on the Bengals, but without Jackson, this very well could be a premium play for me this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to see. And if Jackson does play, I mean, I think his play style lends himself into kind of being able to hop back in there. However, when it's a knee injury that he's been nursing this whole time, how able-bodied will Jackson be once this game rolls around? So we'll keep an eye on that. But the early lean, and a heavy lean at that, is going with my guy Joe Burr, and the Bengals laying the spot there. Jeff, let's talk a little college basketball, because it's not going to be all that long until we only have college basketball and NHL to be talking about here. So let's take a look at the hardwood. And this is an interesting game because it's Michigan State and Wisconsin. And Marketplace doesn't know what to do with this matchup. So the Badgers open 1.5-point favorites. We've seen that flip. Some spots we're seeing Michigan State laying a whole point, even some 1.5s out there. Definitely shaded towards that way. But we also have some pick'ems out there in some spots. So between the Badgers and Michigan State, it's definitely some split opinions. What's the opinion of Jeff Michaels in this one?
You know, Dan, I'm thinking a little bit of assumption here, but I'm thinking that line movement has something to do with Wisconsin player Tyler Wall. He missed the last game with a ankle injury. I mean, he's the team's leading scorer, and he's the second leading rebounder on the team. He got hurt 2 games ago, missed the last game, like I said, and is listed as questionable in this one. I'm going to take an educated guess and say that the more we see this line shift, the more Wisconsin is leaning towards sitting Tyler Wall in this one. And, you know, Chucky Hepburn has been the man that's kind of stepped up in his place. They had a bad loss to Illinois in their last game without Tyler Wall. But Hepburn put up 22 points, but he's kind of found most of his presence from beyond the arc. And that's exactly where Michigan State thrives. They're holding opponents to just 29.2% from beyond the arc. And on the offensive side of the ball, they're one of the best passing teams, assisting teams in the country. And they're coming in with a hot hand. Like I said, Wisconsin's off that bad loss. It was a double-digit loss against Illinois. And Michigan State's now won 6 straight games. I mean, that's the longest active streak, in the Big Ten Conference, which is arguably one of the top, 2 or 3 conferences in all of Division I ball. Michigan State's won 3 straight conference games, and all of this comes after a bad loss in the conference opener against Northwestern. But, you know, Wisconsin seemingly has a home edge. They're 6-1 straight up at home, but they're just 2-5 against the spread in those games. And like I said, this Michigan State defense has been impressive. They've held 4 out of their last 6 opponents to 34.5% shooting or worse. And their last game, big in-state rivalry game against Michigan, they held the Wolverines to just 15% from beyond the arc. And I think that could be a preview of what the Badgers see tonight. So Michigan State's 5-2 straight up and against the spread on the road this season. So I like Michigan State in this one.
Looking towards the Wolverines and all kinds of trends and angles to back it up, including some potential injury woes for the Badgers. That's Jeff Michaels. You can grab his plays right this moment. Have a great special we're going to talk about in just a few here. But have anything locked and loaded for this evening? You gave out 2 free plays for the folks. Anything for the premium clients that people can go on over and grab? sm.buzz/JMS?
I do, guys. I got 3 college basketball plays going tonight. I like this card for sure. All 3 are in one pack for just $10. But I'm excited, looking forward to the NFL. I got my eye on at least one, if not two, 5 or 10 unit plays. And we've been hitting those in an impressive run, 17-8 in the last 25 NFL plays. And we're 10-3 in the last 13 NFL plays of 5, or football plays, of 5 units or higher. So 3 college basketball for just $10 up there now. And make sure you go take a look tomorrow morning too. You'll have plenty of NFL action for the weekend.
Absolutely. That's my man, Jeff Michaels. Go enjoy the kid's birthday, even if I'm still not a big fan of him for beating me in fantasy football. But that's neither here nor there. He was just talking about, this college basketball slate and how they've been running on the hardwood. Of course, NFL will always reign supreme. But when you're looking for a little bit of action after that, college football's done, NFL winding down. Time to turn our attention to that ice and the hardwood. Why I grabbed these two guests to join us, because until the 22nd of January, terrific deal we have for you here. Slashing NBA, college basketball, and NHL season passes usually cost you about $450 or $460, We're cutting it all the way down to $299. So under $300, no coupon needed. And here's the catch too. The earlier you buy, you're going to get additional all access at no cost. So if you grab college basketball, buy it right now. You can do it through the 22nd. Your access starts immediately, and that comes out to just about $3.55 a day. NBA and NHL, just about $60 per month. You hop in right now, ride with our hottest handicappers at sportsmemo.com and wagertalk.com. What I plan on doing once we wrap the show. So go to your favorite handicappers page at either site. Get your sports through the championships, through March Madness for just $2.99 each. Great deal here to ring in the new year. Huge thanks to Jeff Michaels. Huge thanks to Buster Sports. And, of course, my guy Eric behind the scenes, making the show work and doing his best to try and make us look a little bit better. If you enjoy the show, hop below in the comments. What are you betting on? You agree? You disagree? Throw us a like if you feel so inclined. And make sure you're subscribed at Sports Memo TV and Wager Talk TV. But that's going to do it for Buster, for Jeff, for Eric. I'm Dan Alexander, and we will see you Thursday right here on Sports Memo Today.